So I'll admit, this isn't really the kind of video that I thought we'd be making when it comes to the Toronto Maple Leafs. You see, earlier in the show, a few days ago, we made a video talking about Corey Pronman of The Athletic and his very particular draft rankings, which saw Gavin McKenna as the fourth best overall prospect in the 2026 NHL Draft. So we made our video discussing whether or not McKenna could actually go fourth overall, as per the suggestion of Corey Pronman, and it got a lot of people up in arms. Not necessarily the video itself, but just the idea even being muttered. As a result, after Corey Pronman's draft rankings got released with Gavin McKenna at number 4 and Ivar Stenberg at number 5, you had people posting former takes made by Corey Pronman in an attempt to, let's just say, decredit the work that Pronman puts in. Here's a reply from Liam, Willie for Heart, quite obviously a Toronto Maple Leafs fan. It's an article posted by Corey Pronman on May 12th, 2016, that talks about why Patrik Laine, not Auston Matthews, is the top NHL draft prospect. What Patrik Laine is doing at his age has rarely been done before in the modern era. Corey Pronman, 2016. With that said, I wanted to take some sort of a retrospective look and dive into what exactly would have happened if Corey Pronman's prediction back in the day came true. For context, let's go over to a post made on the R-Leafs subreddit from 10 years ago. This is a decade in the making here, people. Corey Pronman's top 5 prospects for the 2016 draft. Obviously, it's posted on the Leafs sub because back in the day, spoiler alert, the Maple Leafs had the first overall pick once more as well. At number 1, Pronman has Patrik Laine, a left wing from Tampere in the Finnish Liga, who had scored 17 goals and 16 assists in 46 games played. Pronman wrote at the time, Laine is everything you want in a high-skill power forward. First, he is built like a truck at 6'4", 206 with broad shoulders and great core strength. It's a joy to watch film of Laine shrugging off checks left and right and easily winning loose puck battles. He's equally adept at being a playmaker as he is being a goal scorer. Laine's offensive IQ is high-end, bordering on elite. He's a very creative puck handler who anticipates pressure well and knows how to create space for himself. He moves the puck quickly with few errors. Off the puck, he finds the open seams well, and can launch a scoring chance from almost anywhere on the ice, having probably the best shot in the draft class. Interesting. Laine versus Matthews, the best shot of 2016. You can let me know your thoughts in the comments. How do you feel about that? Laine's skating is one of his notable flaws, although he has gotten a little quicker from last season. He's average in that area, and I don't think he's going to jet past NHL defensemen. Spoiler alert, Corey, there were some moments throughout the years where Laine did do just that, but I'd be remiss to say that that wasn't really all too common. Overall, Laine is a special forward, someone who could be an elite scoring power winger in the NHL for the next decade. The ranking explanation: we're going to need more than one paragraph in this one. Click here to read my case for Laine over Matthews. Okay, so he actually did link his other article. Pronman wrote this about Matthews 10 years ago too. Teams dream about getting a legit number 1 center like Matthews when picking at the top of the draft. A 6'2", 210-pound pivot with the skill level that is off the charts. He's also got pro experience to boot, and he's been making Swiss cheese out of his opponents in the NLA. Matthews is a magician with the puck, not one of those pretend magicians you'll find in Vegas, but like the ones you read about in fiction novels. He is so coordinated and creative that it's nearly impossible to strip him of the puck. Combining that with an incredible touch that can have him effortlessly saucer pass across the rink onto the blade, or place it on a shot wherever he wants to, and he's a nightmare for teams to defend. Matthews is a very good skater, and while he is not among the very top tier of the class in terms of speed, he can explode down the ice with anyone. Matthews ain't perfect, though. His real weakness is when the offense isn't flowing through him. He's not really a physical player who will grind for pucks along the wall, nor is he some sort of defensive stalwart. Matthews still uses his big frame to win pucks and competes well on the ice in every zone, but the team drafting him must be realistic about what he's going to be in terms of the gritty areas of the game. Now, that's a pretty fair scouting report. I think a lot of those elements of Matthews' game still are not there in 2026. He's not really a grinder. He's not a board battler. The play of the game flows through him when he has the puck in space, not when he's digging for it on the side. However, Auston Matthews inevitably became a 60-time goal scorer in the NHL, and Patrik Laine is a guy that unfortunately fizzled out after his first few years in the league. I won't discredit Laine, though. His first few years in the NHL were bananas. 44 goals at 19 years old in 2017-18. Might I remind you, this is back in the day when goal scoring in the NHL was not as prevalent as it is nowadays. I understand that Matthews getting 69 was somewhat of an anomaly, but if you look at 2017-18, Patrik Laine was second in the league in goals. He was 5 behind Ovechkin, and 1 above of William Karlsson, of all people. So Patrik Laine, he was moving different in his first few years of NHL play. And the question as to what the Toronto Maple Leafs would have looked like if they had Laine and not Matthews is obviously one that needs to be settled, because when you look at the way the Toronto Maple Leafs were assembled back in this time frame when Matthews came in and everything was new, Matthews was down the middle, Willie Nylander was on the wing, and Mitch Marner was on the wing. Oddly enough, Nylander and Marner had experience playing center throughout various parts of their careers. Even in Toronto, Nylander was used as a center for some preseason games. But Auston Matthews was that main guy. And you can say that even a few years later, maybe it wasn't that big of a deal because they ended up signing John Tavares in free agency. I'm thinking about it like this. If the Toronto Maple Leafs went the Corey Pronman route and they took Patrik Laine first overall in 2016, I question whether or not Laine would have had the drop-off that he had in years forward with Winnipeg. I know there are so many memes that everybody would like to toss out there. Oh, he was playing so much Fortnite and he was addicted to video games and this and that. Character issues, yada, yada, yada. But I do think that a lot of what Laine had to deal with in Winnipeg was a direct result of the failure of the leadership group in that Jets organization. Guys like Blake Wheeler going out there, supposedly getting on Laine's behind and not really treating the guy all too nicely. Oh, but they're pro hockey players. Who cares about being treated nicely when you're getting paid millions of dollars to shoot a rubber puck into the net? I understand that. It's a place of privilege to be in the NHL, period. But I'm just saying that Patrik Laine was a young, impressionable dude, and there were reports back in the time frame of Laine's time in Winnipeg that he just didn't really get along too well with the guys in the room, more so due to the guys not treating him nicely rather than him being a difficult person to deal with. We understand that Laine does have a bit of an attitude. It comes across when he does media interviews. He's very witty and he's not afraid to show it, but I do question what Winnipeg did to Patrik Laine in terms of his overall mental preparation and development in the NHL. If he was in Toronto, where maybe there was a little bit more flexibility, I would say, despite the heavy media pressure that existed with the Maple Leafs, if Patrik Laine was the first overall pick in 2016, they would have loved this guy. They would have had a field day with just allowing him to be himself and be in the organization, and he would have scored 30-something goals in his first season in the same way that Auston Matthews did, and there would have been a lot to like out of both of these players. Now, Auston Matthews actually scored 40 goals in his first season. He was a goal scorer right away. But Patrik Laine, I feel, if he was surrounded with an environment that was just a little bit kinder to him as a person, maybe he would have been more successful throughout the years. But obviously, I'm not Patrik Laine. I'm just talking about what I think about this stuff. You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. How do you feel about Corey Pronman's 10 years ago draft analysis that Patrik Laine was the better prospect than Auston Matthews? Do you think nowadays that is totally shut down, or do you think a lot of this has to do with circumstance? You can let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. And bye.